All right, look, I don't know if I should get involved in this because they talking about, suing people and cease and desist and all that type of stuff, but hey, we up in it. You know what I'm saying? We up in it. Josh Benson is calling out Talon Michael for essentially scamming, using the ministry, using the nonprofit, doing the whole prosperity gospel song and dance just to get some M's in the bank. That sounded so stupid. I don't know why I'd be saying certain stuff. That sounded really dumb. But Josh is accusing Talon of scamming. So let's watch these videos. Let's have a conversation. It's drama. It's definitely drama. But let's just see what's going on. All right? Let's just see what's going on.
I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I think that this Christian YouTuber with over 3 million subscribers on YouTube is stealing money that people have donated to his ministry and is using said money for personal gain. And I've got some pretty interesting evidence to back up my claim. This is Talon Seaman, aka Talon Michael, and he is a self-proclaimed social media guru. Don't believe me? You can buy his course for a couple $1,000s. And he is the founder of Revival Way Ministries. Now, according to their website, Revival Way Ministries, again founded by Talon, has 3 core programs. First, feeding hungry children in third world countries. Second, reaching people with the gospel. And third, seeing said people accept Christ as their personal savior. So when you donate money to Revival Way, this is what you're hoping your money goes towards. Now here's red flag number 1. After looking through the IRS website for a couple of hours, which is as exciting as it sounds, I discovered that Revival Way Ministries does not have a tax ID number. As far as the IRS is concerned, Revival Way Ministries does not exist. Here's why that's a problem. If you don't have a tax ID number, if you haven't filed with the IRS, you can't have a bank account for your organization. So unless Talon has set up a separate organization under a different name, any donations that people make through the website or through social media is more than likely going directly into his personal bank account. Further evidence of this can be found through Revival Way's Venmo and PayPal, which have had their usernames altered to say Revival Way, but are still underneath Taylor Seaman's government name. Hold on there, Josh. Regardless of the bank account, according to Talon's Instagram, they sowed $250,000 worth of those donations into other ministries. For example, according to Talon, they fed 24,000 kids through Feed the Hungry last year. Don't get me wrong, that's awesome. But according to Feed the Hungry's website, you can feed 125 kids for $25. So quick math tells us that if they fed 24,000 kids, they donated roughly $4,800 to Feed the Hungry. Which begs the question, where did the other $245,000 go? Because there's no other mention on Talon's Instagram or the Revival Way Ministries website of other partners or organizations they're working with. Maybe some of that $245,000 went towards the dream car that Talon just bought, that he paid cash for, by the way. Or maybe it was some of the private jet flights or the luxurious lifestyle he and his wife are living. Some of you may be thinking, Josh, you're speculating. Maybe he took all of that money and poured it into his YouTube, his social media, so that he can create quality videos that preach the gospel and reach the masses for spreading the good news about Jesus, right? I kid you not. These are the last 6 videos that he posted on YouTube. So we're really preaching the gospel over here. Now, I'm not trying to bash Talon, because the reality is he's not the only guy that's doing this. We've got to call this stuff for what it is. It's lying. It's stealing. All for the sake of Talon getting to live his prosperity gospel wet dream. Now, I'm making some crazy claims. So Talon, if you want to make a video refuting these claims and showing some financial transparency, transaction history, you could probably use the views. Why not? If you can prove me wrong, I'll delete this video and promote your course for free. Balls in your court.
That's messy. He said you could probably use the views. Why not? That was part 1. This is part 2.
So quick update on the Talon Michael situation. He's threatening to sue over my last
Hold on. Wait. It says, Josh, you have 24 hours to remove your video regarding the false claims towards Talon Seaman and Revival Ways Ministries. If the video is not removed from any and all social media platforms by February 12, 2024, we will be taking legal action to sue you for defamation of character and slander. The following screenshot is one of many sexual harassing messages our ministry has received due to your slanderous claims. Revival Way legal team? That's not the best response, in my opinion. Somebody makes one video talking about how they believe that you're acting not in good faith with finances that were sowed into your ministry, and your immediate response is to send a message saying that you're going to sue that person if they don't remove the video, that's not a good response. And if you have a legal team, as it seems, I don't know if this is just you just writing this message, or maybe you have one person, or I don't know. That's not the way to go about it, especially not in this age of social media and striving to be more transparent. Just get on camera and just talk about what he's accusing you of doing, and just be open and just be upfront about it. But to go and immediately try to get the video taken down, that seems even more shady. That seems even more sketchy, in my opinion.
Become a situation, but we'll get to that. Since I posted that video about Talon on Friday, I had hundreds of people, I kid you not, hundreds of people DMing me, commenting, people that know Talon personally, people that have gone to his church or go to his church in Louisiana, people that went to college with him, reaching out to tell me stories, experiences, places to look, things of that nature. So that's what I've been doing all weekend, is just diving in, kind of like an investigative journalist. It's been kind of fun, diving in and really trying to make sure that I'm factual and accurate with the things I say and the questions I ask. Just for the sake of clarity, I will be posting a video tomorrow basically responding to his video to me, which if you guys saw that video, his answers were inadequate at best and left us with more questions even on what's going on financially, things of that nature. So I will be posting that video tomorrow. But as for the potential lawsuits, Talon has given me 24 hours to remove the original video, or he'll be suing me for defamation and slander. Fortunately for us, and unfortunately for Talon, he's bluffing. In fact, I'm fairly certain he wrote that DM himself, not his legal team. I'm not going to let a guy that thinks he has a ton of money bully me into doing anything. So the video will stay up, and the video with all of my investigative findings will be posted tomorrow. Also, one last thing, please don't harass Talon or his family especially. It's okay to ask hard questions and hold someone accountable, but let's keep it clean on that front. And with that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, he posted one more video, but I want to show you what Talon responded with before I show you that video. Let me see here. Talon. Yeah, that was a terrible response. The fact that he sent that message, that was a terrible response. My goodness. Okay, I think it's right here. So this is Talon. For those of you who may not know, this is what Talon responded with.
Hey Josh, saw how much you liked my new car, so I figured I'd make this response video in front of it for you. Here's the first piece of transparency that you requested. Revival Way Incorporated, official legal documents of being a nonprofit entity based out of the state of Louisiana with a state ID number. And then you also asked for some financial transparency, which I thought was very funny, so I just took 2 seconds to grab one bank statement off of my desk so I could show you how much we gave to one organization last year. Here are the bank statements of my tithes and offerings that I gave just last year, simply just to my church, $239,128.62, as well as another $35,000 toward our building pledge. And as for my vehicle, I did pay for it cash, and not one penny came out of my ministry. I have 7 other businesses that I run full-time as well, and they paid for my vehicle. So I'll take my free shout-out now, big dog.
Yeah, I mean, that was another terrible response. So it's like y'all are 0 for 2 in responses. Y'all need to get on the scoreboard, because that was an absolute terrible response. The way I think just by simply just saying like, hey, I know there's some confusion here. Here's what we're doing with the money. We've fed these children. We've done this. We did this. We did this. Here's all the outreach. Here's what we're doing. And as a nonprofit, if I'm not mistaken, you have to be open with your books anyway. Isn't that a part about, being a nonprofit, is that you have to let people in and see exactly where those expenses are going? Isn't that a part of the deal of being a nonprofit that allows you to have that tax status? I might be wrong, but I thought the books had to be transparent anyway. But a response like this, where you're just flexing your G-Wagon And I get it. You might have got that G-Wagon legitimately from other businesses that are not associated with your ministry. But it's tough. It's tough. It's tough because oftentimes what happens is even those other businesses that may not be associated directly with your ministry, they're still somewhat intertwined, because most of the times those clients that you're getting for your other businesses are people that found you through ministry. So it's like, I'm not saying this is always a scenario, but the lines get kind of blurred at a certain point. But like I said, that was a terrible response. Let's go to part 3 of Josh's video series here.
If I am being super honest with y'all, I almost didn't make this video. I've been talking to God a lot about, is this a time where we just need to keep the peace, or is this a time when there needs to be transparency and some sort of accountability? This was still only about Talon and nothing else. Probably would have left it be, right? But this has snowballed into something much bigger, thanks to the numerous messages and DMs from current members of Faith Church, ex-members of Faith Church, and people that just live in Ruston in general. There seems to be a unified voice that needs to be heard, and the dumb internet Christian comedian is going to be the guy to do it, I guess. Last thing I'll say, and we'll get right into it. My main goal for this is people to know Jesus. Not prosperity, gospel, young money, cash money, Jesus. Jesus, period. And I believe that Talon Michael, Pastor Stan Pody, and the organization of Faith Church Ruston has disregarded that goal for their own financial interests. Let's dive in. This is Talon Michael, and the other day he responded to my asking for financial transparency in his nonprofit ministry, given that he's always posting private jet flights and the fact that he just paid for, in cash, a $200,000 car.
Josh, saw how much you liked my new car, so I figured I'd make this response video in front of it for you.
Okay. Cool car. Man. What about your house? Because according to this document that was filed by your father-in-law...
Man, we pulling documents. I saw public information, but oh my goodness gracious. Hold on.
Okay. Cool car, man. What about your house? Because according to this document that was filed by your father-in-law's LLC, he actually owns the house that you live in. And I'm assuming he doesn't charge you rent, but more on him later.
Here's the first piece of transparency that you requested. Revival Way Incorporated, official legal documents.
So we were able to finally track down Talon's nonprofit, and come to find out it's not in good standing with the state of Louisiana. But that's not even the weirdest part. You scroll down and look at the listed owners, directors, officers, you name it. 3 men are listed, none of which are Talon himself, which I found very interesting.
So I could show you how much we gave to one organization last year. Here are the bank statements of my tithes and offerings that I gave just last year, just to my church, $239,128.
We all know that's not a real bank statement, but I'm going to assume that that's the amount that Talon claims his nonprofit, Revival Way, donated to his church. Did you know that Talon's father-in-law is also the lead pastor of said church, Faith Church Ruston? Here's a picture of them in front of another private jet. Now, strangely enough, because most of the information on their website is password protected, which is weird, I've been led to believe that the only people that are on church staff and have access to church funds are Talon, his wife, his father-in-law, mother-in-law, and his brother-in-law. That's it. So here we see what looks like Talon flexing that he's donating money that he was given to a church that he's essentially the number 2 in command at. But from just reading some of these stories from both current and ex-members of the church, it sounds as though Talon's Revival Way escapade is just a smaller part of a much bigger prosperity gospel operation. Many current and ex-members of the church, who will remain anonymous, of course, seem convinced that Pastor Stan Pody's main...
Hold on, let me read these. These are comments from people who go to the church. Let me see. It says, my husband's family and I used to attend until our eyes were opened. It's very, very corrupt and sketchy financially. They even speak curses over people who leave their church and disagree with them. I've personally seen them take all tithes and offerings to their home after Sunday service and count all the cash. They keep the books closed to the congregation. That's the thing about a nonprofit. I thought you had to keep your books open in order to be able to have that tax status. I thought you had to be transparent with your books.
The church, it sounds as though Talon's Revival Way escapade is just a small...
It says one time, I guess the individual made a tithe of $35,000 off their businesses. And next thing we knew, the Podys installed an ingrown pool in their backyard and said it was for baptisms. Oh my gosh. An ingrown pool said it was for baptisms. What? Okay.
Part of a much bigger prosperity gospel operation. Many current
But most of the members are very poor, and yet leadership continues to ask for big donations.
ex-members of the church, who will remain anonymous, of course, seem convinced that Pastor Stan
They told my parents that God called them to minister to the upper middle class and high class only. They said that they felt called to make the rich richer for the kingdom of God. They felt called to make the rich richer for the kingdom of God. I mean, what's the next?
main priority is financially exploiting anyone that sets foot in their church. For example, on top of the regular tithe, which this church...
Hold on. You wanted me to be a member of the church to help out with anything. You had to tithe 20% of your paycheck. They want a 20% tithe. A 20% tithe is outrageous.
Be 20%. They also have special offerings that occur on Pastor Appreciation Month, Stan's birthday, his wife's birthday, their anniversary, Father's Day, Mother's Day, and the church's anniversary.
Bro,
Another source told me
wait. They have special offering for the Pastor Appreciation Month. Okay. Stan's birthday, Mary's birthday, their anniversary, church, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and the church's anniversary. So there's potentially 7 separate occasions in the year where they're asking for additional tithes above and beyond the 20% that they're already asking for. I'm trying to hold my tongue until I have all the information before I really go off.
Mother's Day and the church's anniversary. Another source told me that Pastor Pody keeps track of who does and doesn't tithe and has higher members that he'll send out going neighborhood to neighborhood collecting tithe from members that may be behind on their giving. Now,
I think that's a pretty it's not okay, but I think that's a pretty common strategy, especially when like churches who are really about the cash. I think they know exactly who's tithing and who's not tithing. And it's almost like, you know, who are your best customers? You better make sure that your best customers are coming back and paying. It's like it's treated like a business. It really is treated like you have a small portion of people typically who are tithing the most. And it might be because those people have a higher income. It might be because whatever reason. But typically there's a smaller portion that are tithing the most. And then you have, you know, the rest of the people who are tithing. It might be a little bit more inconsistent, or it might be lesser amounts, because fact of the matter is it's hard out here. Like, everything's expensive. Inflation's crazy. Biden did not help us despite, here's why I said that, because Biden, he literally did a press conference and he was saying like, yo, look what I did for the economy. Where was it when Trump was in office and this, that, and the third? I'm just thinking like, bro, I can't even get some bread and some cheese for less than $7. You know what I'm saying? Just to make a grilled cheese, it cost me $7.50. So I don't want to hear it. But things are expensive. Housing is expensive. Cars are expensive. Gas. Like, not a lot of people can afford to tithe at the level that they were once tithing, but there are still faithful people who are tithing. But to make people feel bad about not being able to tithe, or not being able to tithe more, bro, that's not what church is about. Like, that's not what it's about. We should be seeking to build up the congregation spiritually and not just trying to extract as much finances from them as we can, you know? But let's continue.
You don't have an issue with a pastor leading a church in this manner. Okay, maybe you'll have an issue with this then. According to some of the ex-members that I spoke with, if you voice a concern or decide to leave the church, not only do they treat you horribly, it's not uncommon for the church to create false accusations. Here's an individual that decided to leave Faith Church Ruston and...
Hold on. They made up crazy stories as of why I'd left. They told everyone that my husband, boyfriend at the time, kidnapped me. They were going to call police and have them find me. They were going to something house asking where I was. They were harassing and stalking me to the point where I had to get a new phone number because they wouldn't leave me alone. Wow.
This is the rumor that the church decided to start about them after they left. Here's another.
Hold on. Just a few of many. They told me I was going to hell because I was engaged to someone outside the church. They accused me of doing, which I have never done. They have accused my friends that I have left, and none of it is true.
Another. Now I know what you're...
Wait, what was the last one? Please do not let these people bully you. They made a rumor about me being a child predator. What the heck?
Now I know what you're thinking. Some of these stories are tough to believe, and who's to say the church itself was even involved in some of the rumors? Would you believe me if I had a screenshot of a message Faith Church Ruston...
Actually, we asked you to leave after asking another member for GAYPORN. Post this on your story next.
Official Instagram account sent to someone after they decided to leave the church. Look at how Evangelist Talon, who is a big representative of Faith Church Ruston,
the complete opposite of Christ's message. You should all be giving this money to the poor and downtrodden and living a modest life the way Christ did. Practice what you preach, bozo. Yes, we will give it all to your mother. Oh my gosh. That's what Talon said.
Talk to people on Instagram after they don't want to buy his course.
I'm pretty sure she knows this and just wanted everyone else to know the ridiculous amount of money this goofball charges people. Spoken like a broke person, said Talon.
At the end of the day, I want more people to know Jesus. For being completely honest, as an onlooking third party, I want Faith Church Ruston to be a great church that fears the Lord. And my hope is that they'll see this video and make changes for the better. Because at the end of the day, I want more people in Ruston, Louisiana to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ, not the fake gospel of financial prosperity.
Feels a little Osteen-y. It's given Osteen vibes. Can I play this video? Let me see. What is this?
The curse of poverty, and poverty is a curse. Don't ever let some lukewarm, weak sauce Christian convince you that poverty is a sense of humility. It is not. Poverty is a curse. It is an abomination to God.
I could sense a cease and desist coming my way. I didn't even really say nothing, to be honest with you. That don't look good. I'll be honest with you. And I think there's a lot of sketchy stuff going on. So much so that I'm not necessarily surprised because we've been seeing it go on for so long. And I don't know if this story is true or not. You know, I'm still waiting on everything and still seeing if Talon's going to respond. I'm still waiting for all the information. So don't sue me, bruh, because I ain't got nothing for you. But it don't look good. And the way that you responded lacked humility. at a very high level and was actually very cringy in the way that you're responding to people and how you're flexing on them with the money. And look, money is not evil in itself. Money is not evil. Money is a tool. Money is a resource that you can use to do good. But money is also the root to all kinds of evil. So if you put money first, and if you start to worship the money, if that starts to control your actions and how you're moving, you're going to see so many fruits of evilness that are going to sprout from your love of that money. And especially when we're in ministry, I think we're entering into a new season where there's so many of these, like online ministries now that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the question is, what is the proper way to steward those finances? You have people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars through ad revenue. You have people who are doing brand deals. You have people who are selling merch. You have people who are making music. You have people who are selling courses. You have so many different avenues of revenue. And then you also have people who are receiving donations directly into their ministry. It's so many different avenues of revenue. It's easy to get intoxicated with the amount of money that's coming in and to lose your focus. It's very easy. And I don't think we've really seen anything like this in the world of ministry, at least to my knowledge. So I think it's good that we're having these conversations. I think it gets very tricky when you're creating nonprofits. And I understand the game a little bit. I've only been really doing this for like a year. But there have been people who have approached me and who have said, hey, why don't you start a nonprofit? And then you could put your family on the board and whatnot. And then, you could pay the nonprofit. And I'm kind of thinking like, bro, that seems a little sketchy. I don't want to get into that game just because of taxes and I don't want to play that game. I really don't. I really don't want to play that game. So I understand what he's doing, if he is in fact doing what is being implied by Josh. I understand that might be beneficial from a tax standpoint, but is it beneficial from the standpoint of glorifying God and keeping your integrity and keeping the main thing, which is Jesus Christ? That's highly questionable. And it's like in the way that they are potentially doing it, if it's true, they gonna have to account for that. They gonna have to account for that. I don't even want to get involved with that in terms of I don't even want to get involved in starting a nonprofit. I know I'm not ready for that yet. Maybe that's a call that God puts on my heart, later down the road at some point, and we start a nonprofit and we do it right. And we have full transparency. You know exactly what's happening with every dollar that you're putting into it. You know exactly the impact that we're, having. You know exactly how God is moving. Until I'm ready for that, I'm not even going to ponder the idea. And I'm not even saying that I would ever do that in the first place, but I'm just saying I definitely know I ain't there yet. And a lot of people are not there yet to be running these organizations, to be running these nonprofits, but they think that they're spiritually matured to be doing these things when they're not. They just need to sit back. They need to wait on God. Did God give you this call to get into this ministry? Did God give you this call to start this nonprofit? Did you receive that specific instruction from him, or did it come from your flesh because you saw an opportunity, a business opportunity that could generate cash flow at a very minimal, if any, tax rate? And like I said, don't send me no cease and desist letter, bro. I'm trying to understand the story just like everybody else. And I think it would be nice if he posted something a little bit more just candid, just having a conversation and not so flexing on people, So that's why I think, let's see where this story goes. Let's see what happens moving forward. All right. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Get in my comments, like this video. I'm out, y'all.